Okay, so as I said, let's look at the long pattern here. Here's our root long. Alright, root 2, 3. Okay, and here is, if we want to go into the fourth of that, we would have 4, 5, 6 pentatonic. So here's root pentatonic, root 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, or we can cut out over here to 5, 6, root 2, 3. Alright, in the fourth, we have, now I've substituted them for you. So this is treating the fourth, here's the fourth here, 4, 5, 6, root 2. So notice we still have our shape there that we were talking about. It's similarly an eerie similarity to what we were looking at, the A shape there. Well, what's the fourth of E? A. Remember I was talking about an A shape there and an A shape up here in our basic root 2, 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, so we've got our fourth there. What's C the fourth of? C is the fourth of G. Okay, so alright, so let's look at this. So this is the first column here, where this is the raw 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3. But who's going to remember those numbers? That's kind of difficult. So what I did was, we're going to implement the substitution. Okay, so first I want to draw your attention to the fact that the black notes are the pentatonics that we're going to play. So let's look at the root. These are identical. Root 2, 3, root 2, 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, root 2, root 2. You see they're identical. I can zoom in because we're not going to miss out. Root 2 there, 3, 5, 3, 5, 5, 6 root, 5, 6 root. They're identical. Now notice, looking at the fourth, we also have identical pentatonic shapes there. Root 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6. You see how they're identical? We have a long stack of black notes here. We have 2 down here, 2 up here, 2 down here, 2 up here. 3, 2, then 1, 3, 2, then 1. Identical. Okay? And the same thing with right here. Trust me, these are identical. So we've got like a little E shape there. We've got a little E shape there. We've got what indeed is an A-shaped pentatonic. 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay? So how do we arrive at this? Okay, so this is the fifth pentatonic in the long pattern. So remember, we're doing the long pattern. I'm going to do it in C. So it's okay. So I've got an E-shaped C down here and a D-shaped C in that box. Now, it's hard to make substitutions. Okay, there's 1, 4, 5. Fourth of E is A. But then we have to go to the next cage up because we can't do the C. We can't do that C down here because the fret nut's there. So we would have to take the A up to the fifth. Like that. Now let's look at a substitution method. Instead of just doing it by triad chords, we're going to do it by pentatonics. Okay, so the long pentatonic is root 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5. Okay, and then 6, root 2, 3. And that ends up being a D shape. So we've got the D shape here. So we go root and we play right into a D-shaped pentatonic. We got root 2, 3, root 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5. Okay, 6, root 2, 3. we've got a D there. Now we're simply going to take that to the G shape and to the A shape, but remember, these are the next cages up from the long pattern. Long patterns always send you to the next cage. So here's A, the A shape, let's say. Okay, you're going to end up in the next cage from A, and the word cage is G. You're going to end up in the G cage. So it goes here's your G cage. I didn't have to do all that just to show you. Here's your G cage, here's your A cage. Ends up in the next cage no matter what one of the long patterns you start on. So here's D, here's G, here's A. You can play it just like that. You don't have to worry about long patterns. Just play the next cage shape up. That's what happened down here, right? I just took the next shape up to get that G. But we have a better idea because we want to exploit the open strings up here. We're going to do it differently. And what it is we're going to employ this method where, especially with the long patterns, for the fourth, we're going to move the pattern up one string. The whole pattern goes up one string. And for the fifth, we're going to move the pattern down one string. So let's look at that. Here's root 2, 3 on the bottom. If we move it up, we've got root 2, 3 on the second string. Okay, here's root 2, 3 on the bottom for the root. If we move it down, we get 4, 5, 6 on the bottom string. That's all it is. So the 4, 5, 6 becomes the bass line for the fifth, and the 5, 6, 7 becomes the bass line for the fourth. So it's kind of swippy swappy there. Okay, so and that works for the short patterns too. So let's look at the entire pattern right here. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. Hey, all right. So let's look at where's our long pattern here. This is the entire pattern thing. So we'll do like a 5. So we could start 5, 6, 7. We could like start it on the second string. 5, 6, 7. Root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then we're going to do 7 root 2. We had to bring that up 1 fret for the tuning difference, and then 3, 4, 5. We'll start 3, 4, 5 down there, 2 octaves down, and continue up 6, 7 root, then 2, 3, 4. Now long 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down 2 octaves again, 4, 5, 6, and then again 7 root 2. My eyes. Okay, and on and on and on. Alright, so that's our pattern. So when we move things up, you know what's going to be underneath it. When we move things down, you know what's going to be above it to become the bottom string. And that's how we're going to do the substitution with the long patterns to make it easy. Remember, the short pattern substitutions are easier. Just do 1, 4, 5 in the G box. G shape, C shape, D shape, right? In the G box. Let's look at G. Let's look at G. So we'll put the capo on. This is where you're at.